All right, good evening, everyone. Once again, you're welcome to the training tonight. So tonight we are going to be looking at um the Smartmonics Scanner, the strategy behind it, and how you as a not just you, how both newbies and then people who have been trading for a bit, can use the scanner to optimize their trading. Mm, okay, before I continue, let me mute. I think I'll have to mute everyone. Mute all. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So how you can use it to optimize your trading. Now, it's important to note that the Smartmonics. Can you see my screen? Please, can
Yeah,
you please
no,
type? Okay, Faith, can you see my screen?
no, I can't see your screen yet.
Oh,
It's dark.
okay. Let me stop sharing and share again. Okay, you said someone is saying they could see my screen.
Okay, seems it's from my end. Okay, I can see your screen now.
Okay, okay. So, now the strategy behind Smartmonics is such that anyone at all can use it to optimize their trading. And if you're going to use Smartmonics as a strategy, the developer of this strategy, Manny Quinones, has actually said that you don't have to combine this strategy with this scanner with another scanner, because they've actually embedded in it everything that you need, for you to be able to take decisions on a trade. You don't have to go to other scanners to look for confirmation. So it's very important. Now, we are going to look at the interface, and then we are going to now look at what is actually in the scanner, one after the other. So let me, well, it's showing AUD. I don't like anything AUD USD. So please, I don't like any AUD. Okay. And we are not taking any trade ideas. I'm not taking any trade ideas. So it doesn't mean that people whose eyes can see, and then maybe there is a trade idea in the course of this, it doesn't mean you cannot take it. But I'm not calling trade ideas or showing trade ideas. So one of the things that Manny Quinones mentioned, that's the developer of this Smartmonics, is that because people always ask, okay, 1 minute, which time frame do you trade? We use the Smartmonics on. So Smartmonics was actually designed for higher time frame trading. So people that do swing trade, maybe you're using the 4 hour this thing time frame. If you're a swing trader, so Smartmonics is good for you. If you're an intraday trader and you trade on the 2 hour and 1 hour time frames, then Smartmonics is good for you. So the only thing that is actually close to scalping in on Smartmonics is the 15-30 minutes time frame. So I've not seen Manicure in any of his sessions, use maybe the 1 minute or the 5 minutes time frame for Smartmonics. The least he uses is always the 15 minutes. So it's very important to note that. I've said a few things, that you don't trade Smartmonics in combination with other strategies. It is okay on its own, very okay on its own as a strategy. So, and importantly, you decide what kind of trader you are. whether you scalp, you're a scalper, or whether you just do intraday or you swing trader. So that will determine the time frame that you're going to use in trading on Smartmonics. So very, very important that you take that note. So before I go into the chart itself, sometimes, if you're a newbie, you might be having, let me just show you around the chart area. These areas are actually very similar in other scanners. So on how do you access the Smartmonics scanner? When you log into your JIFU, this is where you come to. This is a landing page for JIFU that shows the academies in that we have: Forex, crypto, e-commerce, social media. We have Mindset Academy and Finance Academy. So this is where you land. And in the whole idea we are behind JIFU is to teach and to empower. The idea behind JIFU is, financial independence, lifestyle freedom. So why do you have to pay attention to this training tonight and other trainings there? JIFU is not a place where, someone will tell you, okay, open your mouth, and they carry fish and put in your mouth, and then maybe they watch you when you're very hungry and you're about to die. They just say, let me give this person 20 pips, trade and all. Yeah, and then you'll be begging, please give me trade, give me trade. Oh, please share trade. JIFU is not that kind of place. In JIFU, like I always use this analogy, in JIFU, you have two kinds of meals are served here. You have the buffet meals, which is the scanners. You have an array of scanners, and you can choose, a scanner, choose a strategy, and then focus on that. Whenever you are disposed to, you can always come and see what's sets up in the market. And this is a market that runs 24 hours. The market closes, like a 1 hour, there's a 1 hour gap, so all around the clock, you're having different sessions. Asian session, you're having the London session, you're having the New York session. So no matter how busy you are, you can find time and actually trade, any of these sessions, and you use a scanner, take your trades, make your money, you're out of the market. So that's a buffet meal. Now, this one, scanner is a la carte, right? Because you prepare as needed when you need. But then we have the sessions with the educators. That's like a buffet meal. You have a lot of educators. You can join their sessions. Even, I see some people who speak English join maybe Spanish sessions. I've joined those Spanish sessions, and it's always so exciting, and they drop trade ideas. People who don't even understand the language, they recognize pips and trade ideas, and they enter and exit. So you have those different options that you can join, learn with the educators importantly, and then take those trade ideas. You have the JIFU Connect app. You can take trade ideas, Forex, crypto trade ideas, and then there's a tap and trade. So the options, that you can pull from. And then in the Forex Academy and then the other academies, they also have videos that you can come and watch, different levels. There are different levels you can come and watch. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, aside those basic video trainings that you have, you also have, like if you click any of these educators, you can see their schedule. The schedule for their live session is here. If you want to join them on live, you can click on this red live button that is showing there. So you come to this table here, and depending on the educator you follow, you decide to follow, you can note their sessions, when the days they have their sessions, and always join their sessions. I like joining Manikinone's session, because I like Smartmonics. I like John Oliver because of, his training is relatable. Even a 5-year-old can understand it, and he does a lot of mindset and stuff. So for these educators, you can click on their pictures. And when you come click on their pictures, down here in this place, you find recorded sessions. If you click on recorded sessions, you see their most recent recorded session. This was a money session on, this was 12th. 12 was just 3 days ago. So you can come back and watch the educational videos. You can come back and watch the videos, listen to the analysis, listen to, there are some things that you catch, when you're listening, watching these videos, by yourself, and then you can also use it to evaluate yourself. You can understand the psychology. You can also learn the discipline. What Manny Quinones always says is that when you come in to his session, to his live session, to trade with him, learn with him and trade with him, you are actually standing on his several years experience. I don't know if there's anyone here that has up to 20 years trading experience, and you have like an 8-figure portfolio. You've developed strategies and developed scanners. So when you come, you're coming and standing on those years of experience that you don't have, but plugging into his session gives you access, to that. So when he says, and of course, nobody has total control of the market. So what you want to do as much as possible is to ensure that you're closer, to your, like, a very good analysis. All the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. And one of the things I also respect Manny Quinones for is, his discipline. On Monday, I think on his Monday session, I missed that session, but there are a lot of peeps flying left, right, and center who were just, making money and cashing out, and they're so happy just to trade ideas, gold and GBP USD. But then what happened on Wednesday, that was yesterday, when we had that session, he search. Normally in money session, you check maybe just 3 things, and then we are done. He doesn't go everywhere. But that yesterday, he searched and searched, and nothing was setting up. And he said, sorry guys, I don't have anything for you today because nothing is setting up, and you don't force the market. You learn the discipline, because if you're an educator that has several years of experience and they are profitable, successful trader, if they are saying they are not seeing anything in the market, is it you that you're just learning? Is it you that you're just learning and you're like, this market, show something, show something? So these are some of the things that you learn when you come on the session. Even if you can't join live, always go back to watch. So on this, you also have here the second tab here is the economic news, where you don't have to go out of JIFU to look for news, or just be going everywhere on roaming the internet looking for news. The news is here, and then this is like a heat map of the major currency pairs. So you can see at a glance, if this is mostly red, there's a bit of balance. If it's mostly red, you know that the entire market is having, more of a bearish undertone. But when you see a lot of greens, bullish, but, like this, it's just a mixture of both. And then you can see on this left-hand side, you can actually check to see the indicators of the top 20 economies or specific countries, indicators, for specific countries, what is their import growth rates. You can check all those things, what does this mean? There's an explanation for that. So see, some of these things, guys, nobody is going to come and sit down and teach you. Some of these things, you have to go and look for them. You have to go and look for them and learn. You cannot be in a field and expect to be making the kind of money some of you want to make in this Forex trading. You want to use $100 and cash out 1 million. And then you don't even want to watch video, even learn anything about it. How about now? Please don't give the industry a bad name, please. So please go and learn. The most successful traders are very profitable people. So you can see there. And then when you go down, scroll down a bit, you can also see the cryptocurrency like heat map, what's going on. So at a glance, it can tell you that there is a bit of bearish momentum within the crypto markets. And, fine, the market does not move in a straight line. A few days ago, everyone was shouting, bullish. When you say, bullish, everyone was just saying bullish. But no one is shouting bearish, because the market is, moving back a bit. So you also have stocks like, Meta, Apple, Tesla, Netflix. So at a glance, you can see that the stocks are actually performing well. So if you want to track all these markets, on TradingView, you can click here and then go out of JIFU. But everything has been put for you in one place. And then now you come to scanners. When you come to the scanners, you can watch the videos of these scanners. If you're here and you've actually taken out time so far, you've been here up to a week or 2 weeks, and you've taken out time to watch this video, click this place on learn how to use the JIFU scanners, please drop a 1 in the chat box. If you're here and you've actually taken out time to check the back office and then watch the video on how to use the scanner, please drop 1. We have over 30 people on this call, and I'm just seeing just 3, just 4. Drop a 1 if you've watched the videos. Learn how to use the JIFU scanners. When you click on that, it's going to show you the training videos for all the scanners. So far, we have the training videos for trend wave, for golden era. We have for this thing for Sniper Pro. For Smartmonics, because Smartmonics was just uploaded. This new version that I'm gonna take you through is just been uploaded a few days ago. So Manny is still making the training videos. But here you also have kill shots. So you see, come and learn. Come and learn. See, let me tell you, see, it's because you're in JIFU. It's because you're in JIFU. If you've ever had, and then we are calling you doing this, this like stepping down the training for you. Come, let's come together, let's learn. We are just stepping it down for you. If you've ever had to pay people outside to learn Forex, you know that you know what demigods are. A lot of Forex traders are like demigods. They gatekeep information. They don't like sharing information. And anybody that will say they are collecting, one small money to teach you Forex is not a serious trader. Most of them will say maybe for 10 hours class, for this number of days, they'll charge you $1,000 minimum. Some of them that they call the big traders in Nigeria cannot even access, their premium class if you're not paying $5,000. Yet you come to JIFU and then they make these videos, put it in the back office here for you to watch, and you don't watch. You don't watch. In fact, anyone who comes here to train you, they went to the video, watch over and over again, and then, here they are. I learned about the scanners by watching all the mentors video. Once he drops a video, I don't even go to ask him. I activated a notification on his YouTube channel. Once he drops a video, I'll go and watch the video. I'll watch it. I don't just watch his videos once. I watch them over and over again. And it's not because I have all the time in the world. My schedule can be very choked sometimes, but it's hunger. It's hunger. You cannot make you can come in without knowledge, but you'll be taking coins. If you want to make big money, you need to learn at least how to use the scanners. We are not saying go and learn all the technical knowledge about Forex. So trend wave, golden era, kill shot, Sniper Pro, it is all there for you to watch. So let's go back to the scanners. So you have the scanners here. When you click, golden era is just for gold. Trend wave is, it calls all markets. Then Smartmonics, is what we are going to look at. Kill shot is gives you trend direction. Sniper Pro also gives you, trend direction, and also tells you how strong the trend is. I've not, this Supernova scanner is actually a new scanner, and I've not really taken a look at it to see what exactly it does, because with Trendwave, Smartmonics, Sniper Pro, Kill Shots, we're already sniping a lot. So, but it's fine. So that is that. Let's go to on this side now. Let's select go back to Smartmonics. On the right, on the left-hand side of this chart, you have all the instruments that are tradable in the market. You have the B symbol, Bitcoin. So when you click on that, you're going to see all the crypto that are available on the JIFU scanners. They are here and they are listed. So please don't come and say you're looking for one coin. That why is it not what JIFU has is what has been given to you. And when you really check, these are some of the most traded tokens in the crypto space. So you have them here. So you have crypto, and then here you have the time zone. You can always change. You should always change this to reflect your time zone, so that if you're looking for what happened at, let's say, 2:30 p.m. your time, or 6 p.m. your time yesterday, you can always come to the exact time and look at what happened in the market. Then these are the different time frames. So when you select this, if you select let's say the 15 minutes like time frame, let's say if you select 30 minutes, for instance, I want to expand this chart. When you select the 30 minutes, for instance, each candle represents activities that happened in the market, for within a period of 30 minutes. So the same thing, if it's a 15 minutes time frame, the same thing. So you also have currency pairs, and quite a number of currency pairs, are there. So you can always scroll down and pick your favorite pair that you enjoy trading. And then you also have indices. The indices tradable on, with the JIFU scanner, they are listed here from US 30, NAS, US 500, and the rest. Yeah, here. And then we have metals and oil. So you people that trade gold, some people trade silver, platinum. I used to trade silver, but silver is not for small people. Yes, it's not for small. Gold actually shows you shege like a butter, but silver will actually mend you. So if you're not really firm at all, just stick with gold. Then we have crude oil. We have those things here. Then let me just go back. I want to use Euro USD JPY for this class. Yeah, and then on the 15 minutes time frame. So that is that for the interface. And please, when you're selecting the time frame, when you select it on this left-hand side, please always ensure that it is actually what you have on this top bar here, because I can navigate this, go to 30 minutes time frame here, and then this other one is still showing 15 minutes time frame. So please always make sure that you have that tidied, sorted out. Okay, so that is it for how to navigate. And then on the right side here, you have the price charts, and then this left-hand side, if you don't want to see it, if you want to collapse it, you see this small arrow button like this. You can click it and collapse it so that you now have a wider screen. So you have a wider screen, and you can see fully what's going on. And also, if you want this to even be a full screen, a fuller screen, this symbol here that looks like a camera, not a camera, this thing that is highlighted in a bit of gray, if you click it, it actually launches you into full screen mode. It launches you into full screen mode, and then if you toggle on that point again, it takes you out to normal, the normal regular screen mode. So that's how to move around, in these scanners. I need to adjust my position. Yeah, so I can see. Yeah, so that is it. Please, if so far you understand what I've been saying, and I'm not speaking in Greek or speaking in Hebrew, please drop a 2 in the chat box. Let me be sure that you totally understand what I've said so far. And I need us to please be very, very responsive. Let me see. Only 3 people understand. Only wow. Please drop a 2 in the chat box if you actually understand, what we've said so far. It might look like it's basic, but sometimes I see how people struggle to move around the smart, even these scanners. So, okay, fine. We understand. We'll take questions at the end. So please save the questions as we go. So to start with, the concept of Smartmonics, right? Is actually Smartmonics trade actually come from the strategies around, levels of demand and supply, right? We need to understand that basic. So you can't trade Smartmonics without understanding that. And Smartmonics trades actually move from demand zones to supply zones. Very, very important. Now, what the scanner does is that it identifies, key demand and supply zones in the market. That's what it does. It identifies those zones in the market, and where trades are called, when you see that Smartmonics is showing a trade idea, is simply because that trade, it has identified that trade is actually at a key zone in the market. The trade idea we saw earlier, please, what currency pair was that? There was a trade idea we saw earlier. I'm not sure what currency pair was that, because I'll need us to have something. Oh, does anyone remember? Let me see. It was BTC USD. Are you serious? Okay, let me check. No, it wasn't BTC USD. It wasn't BTC USD. Okay, but let's proceed. So now the trade ideas, if it's a buy, you are buying at, a demand zone. Where is a demand zone? Demand zones in Smartmonics, you see them, or on the scanner, you see it, this green zone here. This green zone here is a demand zone, and then this red zone is a supply zone. So when Smartmonics is calling a trade idea for a sell, that trade idea is going to be touching this zone. And then if it's calling for a buy, that trade idea will be coming from this demand zone. And then one thing with this particular Smartmonics scanner is that the trade idea, now the zones that you're seeing, it shows you the most recent demand and supply zone. So you can't say maybe you're going back how many weeks or that. No, it's showing you the most recent demand and supply zone, at this point. So, and then another thing too, I'm going to just pick, the visible features that we are seeing here and then explain them. Now, these things that you're seeing here that look like, what do I call them? It looks like a web, right? Or it looks like a cloud. it is called V swap, right? Now, this thing, they are like, oh, I don't know. I'm trying not to be very technical here. I'm trying not to be very technical. Now, these VWAP bands actually, technically they call them Bollinger Band, but basically they are like borders, and that's the term. They are like borders, and what is their job? Their job is to actually detect extreme highs and extreme lows. And when we are taking trades on Smartmonics, the trade, if it's a sell, you're going to be selling, somewhere around, these extremes. If it's a buy, you're going to be buying somewhere around the extreme of these VWAPs. If you understand this, please just say, I do. And no, please, I don't want to, okay, I do, okay. Please, I don't want to use technical language so that people won't think that this thing is too, no. Let's keep it as very simple and as basic as possible. Okay, those who say I don't, all right, let me also explain. Now, let me explain again. These two things here, the green, like cobwebs, let me just use cobwebs. Yeah, they are Bollinger Bands. That's their technical term, but they are actually, like borders. That's what I'll use to describe it. Borders that surround, the supply area. That's the red VWAP bands. And then borders that surround the green area. That's the demand area. They are the green VWAP bands. So what their job is very simple. Their job is to make it easy for you to detect the extreme highs and the extreme lows in the markets. No, we can't do full screen because I need other aspects of the screen. Yeah, so the job is to find extreme highs. They detect extreme highs and extreme lows in the market. And typically when trades are being taken, they are being taken from from either the extreme high when you're selling or the extreme low when you're buying. This video is going to be available. You can watch it over and over again, so we don't spend time explaining one concept. So case to note, we always want to buy at the extreme lows. In other words, if you want to buy this market now, the VWAP band is actually sitting on a demand zone. It's sitting in a green zone here. So if there was a trade idea for a buy, it's going to be sitting coming from around this zone. So you buy at the low, you buy from the lows, and it has detected that this is the low, the current low. If you want to sell, you sell from the high. Please just follow. I'm building up to something, because everything has already been programmed into the scanner for you. Why we are just explaining is so that you understand the mind, a bit of, like story about the scanner, the function of the scanner, and this understanding is what will give you confidence. When you see a trade and when you see the parameters lining up, you're confident that, okay, look, you can take this trade. So, please, can you see Faith? Faith, you can unmute because you're co-host. Can you actually see my screen and see that it's the viewer? Because I'm using two screens, so I want to be sure that the correct screen is what I'm sharing. Please confirm that you can see my screen with the VWAP bands.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you. Right, thank you. And then now this VWAP, right, is like having, an oscillator in the chart or in the market or in this scanner. because when the market, an oscillator, I don't know how young some of you are, but I met my grandfather's clock, that clock that, used to swing from one side to the other, from left to right. So this is how this VWAP is. The market actually swings and goes high, and it touches, that one end of the VWAP, and then it swings again, and comes down and touches the other end of the VWAP. So it's just showing, it can help you point out the highs and the lows in the market. It's very simple, guys, and very straightforward. And then another thing that you also need to know is that built into this scanner is actually you can see who is in charge of the market. You see this already on the kill short scanner, but here you see the liquidity zones in the market. Now, please pay attention to this. When you want to sell, this thing you're seeing here, it's the red is the sell side liquidity, the green is the buy side liquidity, right? So if you're selling the market, now when I say if you're selling, these are the things that Smartmonics is checking out, before it sends a trade idea. So I'm explaining to you. So because there are some people that already know some of these concepts. If you're selling the market, right, you want to have enough buy side liquidity. And that buy side liquidity is an indicator that, when you enter this market for a sell, it can actually respect, that move. The market can respect that movement. So you see here on the chart, that the green bar is actually longer than the red bar. So it's an indicator, and the scanner says and notice that, okay, look, there is more buy side liquidity, in this market. So it is a confirmation that, one of the confirmations that you can have a sell, right? And then when you come below to the demand zone here, to the demand zone, you see that the sell side liquidity, which is in red, is actually more than the buy side liquidity. And it's a confirmation that from this zone here, there you can actually have a buy trade. You can actually have a buy trade. It means that there are sufficient orders. When we say liquidity in the market, it's simply orders, positions that people have taken, in the market. Positions people have taken in the market, So the market, when the market moves, and then sometimes it has to come back and pick certain orders that it did not pick. And some of these orders, run into hundreds of millions, because you and I that are in this market, we are retail traders. Our money is small. Your $1,000 is a drop of sand compared to people that are taking positions. A single position is maybe $50 million or 100 or 300, $500 million dollars. So the market will come, it comes back to sweep liquidity and goes back in the direction it wants to go. So when the scanner is checking for maybe a buy entry, it's checking to see that there's enough sell side liquidity, and it's shown in this red bar above, this green bar here. Let me put this. So this is it here. If we are buying from this zone, there's a lot of confidence that, okay, there's enough sell side liquidity. And then if you are selling from this zone, you see the buy side liquidity, area by that showing by the green bar is actually an indicator that, yes, the market can actually move, down into down for a sell. Very, very important, right? So another thing, we've looked at the buy side liquidity, we've looked at the sell side liquidity, and then another thing that you also have to, that you see very, very visible because the scanner has been designed, with like color codes. Let me expand it. Color codes that shows you the structure of the market at that time. So and that color code, let me show you. What do you notice? What do you notice here? You notice that in your conventional market, let me quickly check trading view. Let me quickly check trading view. In your conventional market, right? You're going to see when you look at the charts in a this is what do you call USD JPY, same USD JPY, but then you can see that it has buy and sell candles in between. You see this candle is green, this one is red, the next one green, the next one is red. That's how the regular chart is. But then when you come to the Smartmonics Scanner, when you come to Smartmonics Scanner, you'll see that the candles, it is a system that is built, a tracker or an indicator that's been built in Smartmonics, and it's called Optimized Trend Tracker. Now, it shows you the structure of the market. At a glance, looking at the candles, you can see the structure of this market, because of this OTT. So now, from this one alone, all the candles there, even the candles, even the some of the sell candles, that are there, like the reversal candles and all, they are all in green, is giving you an idea of the trend in this market. The structure of this market is actually bullish. So these are things that when your eyes see, they can easily pick out what is the current structure of the market without you having to start asking what's the market structure. You don't have to. People who plot, who do charting, right? They have to really spend time to do this, but it has already been factored in. And then if you're also looking at like the current structure with the red candles, you can actually see that the current structure of the market is actually on the bearish movement. Is actually selling. So even with where we are currently, from this point now, the structure in the market is actually like bearish. So it gives you an insight to what's going on in the market. So that's also another important thing that so that you don't come and, because it's you don't come and take trades blindly. You want to see and have an understanding of what exactly you are taking. So another thing too, another feature of this Smartmonics, another feature is this. You see this moving average, this EMA, right? You see this EMA line. Let me delete this so that the chart is not clustered. Now you see this EMA line. This thick line here is they call it moving average, right? EMA for short, right? Or just know that you don't have to complicate things. This thick line, what happens is that when the market structure is actually bullish, the color of the EMA line you can see here is green. It will show green. It's one of the confirmations. If probably you're looking at a buy in that market and all, it's a confirmation. The market structure is, the market is bullish. And then how you know also, another confirmation is that all the candles are above that EMA. All the candles, because when the market is going up, the EMA is actually like supporting, the movement, so the candles are above, this EMA. And then when the structure is changing, when the market structure is changing, there's a crossover. and then it switches. So maybe you've been in a buy, and then the Smartmonics call the trade idea, you're in a buy, and then you're trailing your stop loss. For some people that are not content with 1 to 2 RR, we'll get to that. And maybe you want to do 1 to 6 RR and collect all the pips, and then you're seeing these conditions in the market. You see that the EMA has started changing from green to red. Go out of the market. Go out of the market. Let me give a disclaimer. One of the things that Smartmonics Scanner will not do for you is that it will not teach you trade management. There is no way this scanner can teach you trade management. Trade management is something that you have to sit down on your own and learn. You are responsible for managing your trades. And on no account, I think it was in one of those live sessions we had with Manny Quinones, someone's trade idea had gone 100. In fact, the trade idea, scanner called it had gone 127 pips, and it hit stop loss. What, please, does anyone have an idea why a trade that was in profit, 127 pips profit? Who has an idea? You can just type in the chat box. Why did that trade hit stop loss? Greed. Thank you. Greed. Aside's greed is lack of, he did not take partials. He didn't even, he didn't manage his trade well. He did not move his stop loss, to entry. He did not BE. Yes, he did not break even. He did not set his break even. So these are some of the things. There is nowhere in this scanner that will teach you trade management. There are different coaches on this call. They've done different videos. In our mindset sessions, we are always teaching on trade management. And then someone would allow a trade that went 127 pips. If a pip is paying $1, that's $127 gone. And then they're trying to make it look like it was a scanner's fault. And trust my guy, Manicure, he said, no, you're responsible for managing your trade. So it's very, very important. Once you see these factors, in fact, I always tell my new team members that the moment when you're in a trade, when maybe you're trading currency pairs, the moment a trade has done 20, 30 pips, move your stop loss to entry so you can have a risk-free trade. And then if you set your TP on maybe TP2, the moment that trade, when it hits TP2, let's say when it's at TP1, you can move the stop loss a little away from entry and secure a bit of profit from the market. And then there are people that follow till exit 5, like we see. As it's moving up, you're moving up. When the market moves, for every 20 pips movement, it moves. You're moving your stop loss, maybe 5 pips and all, and you trail it until that trade is successful. You have no business, allowing a winning trade to actually run into a loss. You shouldn't do that. It's actually disrespectful to the Forex markets. And let me tell you, this market humbles people. Please don't write on my screen. Please don't write on my screen. The market has a way of humbling people that are that indisciplined. All right, so let's continue. So the trend, the EMA is actually also an indication. And then of course, when this market has changed structure, you see a bearish structure in the candles, and then you see the EMA also turns red, and it's very, very important and all. It's very important. And that's, once you see this crossover, in fact, don't allow this thing to turn full red like this. Once you see the crossover, is actually an immediate signal that the market's direction is going to change, and then you can also know what to do to manage your trades properly. So let me please Someone, while I'm teaching, please can someone check Smartmonics and see if we have any trade ideas, that has entry, TP, stop loss, So if you check, you can just put it in the chat box. I'll check the chat box because there are some other things that we need to see when to also explain the chart. Okay, BTC. All right, I'll check the BTC. And then another thing that we also find, let me switch to BTC so that we can see if there are some of these things I'm looking for there. Okay, okay. Okay, fine, fantastic, fantastic. So another thing that is built into the Smartmonics Scanner is what we call, that's even where the name is derived from, harmonics. Is a harmonics pattern. Is a harmonics pattern. Now, if you're an engineer or someone that's been done a bit of science, you've done a bit of mathematics, you understand that the harmonics pattern is actually like it's mathematically generated, right? And it is generated around what we call the Fibonacci numbers. Please don't bother your head. I'm just giving you a bit of background, so that you understand the level of accuracy and thoughtfulness that's been programmed into this scanner to ensure that when the parameters line up, that you have an amazing, trade idea. So they are geometric patterns. There are quite a number of them. I don't want to get into it. But on the scanner, when one of your confirmations is a harmonic pattern and it's in the background there, you'll notice it with a dotted line. Let me show. Can you see where you see this cipher? Cipher is actually a harmonic pattern, one of the harmonic patterns. So can you see the cipher? Please, you can just put yes in the chat box or a Y. Can you see where they wrote cipher in red? Please type in the chat box just so I know that we can all see, yes, we can all know what we are looking for. Yeah. So now when you're in this harmonic pattern, right? If this market is for a sell, the harmonic pattern is programmed to show up, at the extremes like this. Thank you, thank you. Its pattern is designed to show up at the extreme like this. And it's actually one of the confirmations that gives you, a certain level of confidence, right? That, look, if you're selling this market and this harmonic pattern shows up like this and it's in the supply zone, is actually one of the confirmations that this is actually, like a valid trade. It's actually a very valid trade. Now, another thing is that now the strategy that they've designed into the code, the coding, the programming of this is very, very specific. Sometimes a trade might be valid and you will not always see a harmonic pattern, but then you only see a harmonic, like a Smartmonics idea. This is what Emani said. You always see a Smartmonics idea when the harmonic pattern is in the zone. Like now, once the harmonic pattern shows up and is showing you like, this, like the reversal point, and all, you're going to see that at that point, a Smartmonics trade idea will show up. Because sometimes, I've had, even before this new idea, this new scanner, this upgraded scanner was put here, people always ask, Smartmonics is not giving trade ideas. Smartmonics is not giving trade idea. Smartmonics is designed after the person that designed it, a very patient and disciplined trader, and they've encoded it in such a way that when those parameters don't line up, you are not going to see a Smartmonics idea. You're not going to likely even see Smartmonics idea when the market when there is news and a lot of noise in the market, it is coded into the programming, right? And it shows that the trade idea is in the zone. And if for any reasons, when in this place where you see cipher, right? If you have three candles, that go out, if you have three candles like this, and then those candles go out of this zone. If you have maybe the first candle, and then you have the second candle, the third candle, my arrow, the third candle, when three candles like this form and they go outside that zone, it has violated that zone, right? And then whatever trade idea was there by Smartmonics is going to disappear. So for people that are very knowledgeable, you're very powerful. You see that you're on a chart and you see that the market has actually hit invalidation. And then you look at it and say, this thing has hit invalidation, but I think it will go back. Money says that even if it reverses and starts going in the direction it's expected, so long as there is invalidation, the trade idea disappears. So you shouldn't take that trade. You shouldn't take that trade. Okay? So once you see that, just leave it and wait for the next, Smartmonics trade idea. So the idea disappears and is gone. So Smartmonics does not trade when a zone is mitigated like that. Smartmonics will not trade that zone. It will not trade that zone. Now, another thing also, I don't know if this thing is really clear. Another thing also is that when a point on Smartmonics, you're always going to see one entry point, you're always going to see one invalidation point, and you're always going to see three take profit points, right? Now, the TP1 is 1 to 2 risk to reward, TP2 1 to 4 risk to reward, TP3 1 to 6 risk to reward, and then the stop loss on a Smartmonics trade idea is usually half of TP1. Is half of TP1. So that's why TP1 is twice the invalidation, right? So it's actually very important to note that, so that if you're targeting TP2, you can know how to like calculate, your profits and stuff. And then another thing that we also need, everything on this scanner, actually has a significance. Another thing that we'll see in this, oh gosh, in fact, please, just put manicure, in the chat box, please. I wanted to stand up and dance for this man, please. Before I say this next thing, just drop manicure in the chat box. When you see someone that God has gifted, and all, you should appreciate them. Okay, let me collapse. I'm using like my highest screen, like right now. Who are asking me to expand the screen? Okay, I think I've expanded it, but if I need to go back, yeah, thank you, Monique, now better. Yeah, Oluwamani first. Oh my God, if I've given that man name, I look forward to him coming to Nigeria. Now, guys, maybe you've been trading Forex and all, and you hear things like, the market works in phases, sometimes in the Asian session, you have, accumulation. In the London session, you have distribution. In the New York session, you have reversal and all. They have programmed the different sessions of this market so that at a glance, you don't have to guess which one is Asian session, which one is this. You already see it on the scanner. So the green here, this green in the background here, I hope you can see all the green lines, like the green fill lines, the red, the block lines and all. The green line is actually, representing like the Asian session. The Asian session. Someone said, okay, yeah, you can see it. Is the Asian session. The red is the London session, and then the blue is the New York session. So, sometimes, even if you're not taking a trade, come and look at the charts and, see what's going on. Now, when we look at this trade idea for BTC, during the Asian, and the London session, there was a bit of, a lot of movements. The market actually sold. The market sold, from the Asian session, into the London session and all. Distribution has happened. So it is expected, you can anticipate that in the next session, which is New York session, that there will be a reversal. Smartmonics gives you that picture because from here, let me see, from here, you can see that from this thing, green, starting from green, Asian session into, London session, yeah? And then let me even count how many pips of movements that was. That's almost 200 pips. 200, no, not 200 pips, 2,000 pips for BTC. And then when New York session came, the trade actually started, moving back. A reversal occurred, and it's already color coded, so you can see it with your naked eyes, and you don't have to do what, some traders sit down and then they start doing a lot of calculations to determine these things. It has been color coded for you. That market actually moved, almost 2,500 pips. 2,500 pips, which means that if you're a trader that is focused on BTC and all, you can actually catch, the movement up and down. So Smartmonics had already given, and it's given a trade idea already that has gone, this trade idea has actually gone, it has gone beyond 1 to 2 RR. It's in between, in between 1 to 2 RR, 1 to 4 RR. So if your TP was 1 to 2 RR, you'd have gotten quite a number of pips and out of the market. Cool 600 pips, guys. Cool manicure pips, guys. So that is also, one of the things you look out for. So it helps you what this, putting these sessions, what it does for you is actually helps you if you want to stay in a trade and all that you're in, because some people, do swing. If you want to stay, you can see if there's going to be, you can look out for a continuation of the trend that you're in, or if there's going to be a reversal of that trend in the next session. So people that entered BTC for a sell during the Asian session, and they held on to it, the trend continued, through the London session and started reversing, in the New York session. So it's very, very important, for us to look out for these things. And then another thing, let me see, have covered the harmonic patterns. Now, the strategy for Smartmonics is actually just a very simple 3-step strategy. The first one is that 50% of the trade ideas, 50% of this entire Smartmonics strategy is around trading the right zone. It's trading the right zone. Here, the trade happened in the supply is a sell. It's in the zone, it's in the zone for a sell, the supply zone. That's already 50% of the strategy. And then the other part of it is the harmonics pattern. The harmonics pattern in that zone. Harmonics pattern in that zone. So with that one, the trade is actually very complete. So other blocks, all these things that I see people spend 3 hours on the on the chart. So I'm explaining it so that if perhaps you join JIFU and you're already trading, you're a smart money trader, all those things and all those 4 hours on the chart, it has already been done for you on the JIFU scanner. So we already have, I've explained it earlier, we already have the built-in, order blocks here, and then where all the liquidation zones, you have it, where you can check who is in control, the buying and selling activities, is there. So if you're looking to short, what you want to confirm is that there is more buy side liquidity. If you're looking to buy, for instance, you want to confirm that there is more sell side liquidity. So now in this trade now, you can see that the market is retracing. Why is it retracing? We said that for a market to sell, that the buy side liquidity, which is in green, this green bar here, has to be more than the sell side liquidity. But right now, the sell side liquidity is more. So it's showing that, there's a bit of more of buying in the market, more of buying in the market. And for someone that is already here, can just decide, okay, look, I can take my whatever profits I've made, and then just leave. So that is it. So you want to see more green. This green should be longer than the red. If one of the confirmations you look out for when you want to sell the market. And then the same thing too, if you want to buy, you want to ensure that this red here in the demand zone, this red is actually longer than the green. So they've designed the buy and sell zones around the order blocks in those zones. And then you already have, I'm just recapping, you already have the VWAP bands and all. The VWAP band is actually sitting there in that zone and giving you the highest point of that trade. Now, like this sell actually happened at the highest point. Harmonics is there for you. So the strategy is very, very specific. The trade idea is there. So if you come and see all these things and you don't see the trade ideas, the entry and all, I mean, don't enter. Don't enter. There are a lot of opportunities in the market. And like I said, the market is not running away, okay? So I've mentioned the first step and all, the price has to be in the zone. So people that take, you come here and you see that this market is selling and then it's already almost at TP1 and you want to enter the trade. You want to enter the trade. Please, let's not do that kind of behavior now. I call it rotten tomatoes behavior. In this market, you want to be able to select the best opportunity for yourself. But it's just like going to a market and you see fresh, juicy tomatoes and you choose to go and buy rotten tomatoes and eat. Or you see, fresh fish, but you choose to buy those ones that are rotten and smelling to eat. That is what some of you do when you come to the market. You see that this trade has left the entry and you want to enter. No, please follow this the process step by step. The price has to be, at this zone here, and then the harmonic pattern is touching the zone. The VWAP is actually touching the zone. The red VWAP is actually touching that zone for a sell. And then you confirm, you can take your price at that point. There's a reason why it's there. If you take your price here and this market goes back, you're actually in a deeper, your stop loss, what you lose is actually more. You'll be losing over 100 pips because you entered from TP1. But meanwhile, if you entered from the point of entry, the invalidation is just 30 pips. Most of Smartmonics trade ideas, the invalidation, the stop loss is not more than 30 pips. It's not more than 30 pips. So very important. And then another thing too is that once you confirm, there are things, that are called rejection candles. This trade has already played out, so I'm not seeing any rejection candles here because this trade has actually played out. So now the rejection, one of the things that also factored into the confirmation of trade ideas on Smartmonics is that when you see a trade that's been, that's been called out, there's always a rejection candles. Now, there are zones. The candles actually show, like the strength or so of that zone. So there's always a rejection candle that confirms that you can enter that trade, right? And then now these zone candles, they show you the entries. Like you have the zone entries for harmonics already. That harmonics shows you there's a candle on top of that harmonic pattern. And then now the type 1 entries, for type 1 entries that are not like the strongest, they are the yellow candles. They are the yellow candles. Let me see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one, because once a trade has passed, it has passed. It has passed. So yeah, but probably if you find it, maybe you're about to take a trade and you see it, so the type 1 candles are actually like the yellow candles and all, and it's yellow like yellow. It's actually yellow like yellow and all. And then type 2 candles are actually orange, and then type 3 candles are like purple candles. The purple candles actually show you that it's strongest. I'm looking to see if I can find any here. It's actually showing you that that zone is actually a very strong zone. So I don't know if this looks like this particular candle. Okay, this is actually a rejection candle. This is actually a rejection candle, guys. Expand the screen. Expand the screen, you see it. It's a light purple feel, and of course my probably my background also might affect it, but it's different from the rest of the candles. And you can see that the moment that rejection, once it shows up, is actually confirming the trade, and it always shows up in the zone. It always shows up in the zone, because sometimes, some people get tricked. Some people get tricked into the market and they lose money. You just see that this trade has hit, the supply zone. And you say, this trade hits supply zone. Let me enter. Calm down. Always watch out for the rejection candle, because, and especially when it's in the zone, remember that in this zone, there are different things that we are looking for here. The harmonics pattern is there. The VWAP is in the zone. The rejection candle is also in the zone. If the rejection candle is somewhere in between here, please don't take that trade. It has to be in this zone. Very, very important. Now, what you're looking for, the significance of this rejection candle is that it is showing that the market is going to respect that zone and move in the expected direction. So since you are selling this trade idea, it's actually showing that the market is going to sell. It's a confirmation that the market is going to sell and it's not going to reverse, because for some people, the market does fake out. It can just give you maybe a sell, 1-2 candles, a sell, and then the next thing, it starts buying, and then people, stop loss gets hit. So please always look out for this rejection candle. I've expanded, the screen. Please, someone else, you can help me check through Smartmonics, currency pair, anything, and see if we have a buy trade idea on any commodity, so that we can also see what the futures look for a buy, while I'm explaining. Thank you. And you can let me know in the chat box. So this is to show that that zone will be respected, and very important. So price has touched the zone, the candles there, price is at that zone. You've waited and you've seen rejection candle. And then another thing, of course, you've seen another thing you watch out for, the third step, you're going to look at your entry parameters. All these parameters have to be there. If you see maybe entry invalidation, and then maybe you see 1 to 2 RR, it's not Smartmonics. It's not Smartmonics. Maybe there was a glitch, but standard Smartmonics, you see 1 entry point, 1 invalidation, and then 3 take profits, points, very, very important. And then I've already explained all these other things for us. And then there's also a zone check. There's also a zone check. Now, it's probably gone off now that this trade has actually moved in the direction. Now, the zone check is this. Let me expand. Now, the zone check is actually like a little check mark, that pops up on this zone on top of the rejection candle if you are selling, and it comes below, the rejection candle if you're buying. So it just does a check. We all know what a check mark is. It just does a check, in that zone and all. And it's actually like a confirmation, another confirmation that is valid. Now, you are not the ones doing this thing, or please, everyone, newbies, I'm just explaining to you. You are not the ones doing these things. The scanner is already programmed to do everything that I'm explaining. The scanner is just doing that automatically, but I'm just telling you that when you come, these are the things that you look out for. You're not the one that you're not the one that carry your pen and go and do check. Please, please, please. It just occurred to me that some people might be thinking that where will I find and start checking? No, please. It is doing, see, you are not, your own is just come and look and then confirm that everything aligns and take the trade, okay? So that's just it. And then, that zone check is there to show that the rejection candle is valid, and then also another thing that you can look out for, is this. Now, should I get so technical? Now, as soon as this rejection candle closes, you can come and set your entry. You can see that the first rejection candle closed. It's a smaller, like a doji and all. And once this entry pops up, if the market has not activated it yet, you can actually just go and set a pending. If the market has not, okay, maybe you met it at this point where the rejection candle has actually, closed. And then this next candle here, this next red candle that is right after opened and it entered that zone. This is actually like the, oh gosh, another technical term. This is actually like the fair value gap, and it has actually gone to, mitigate that zone. And also once this one, you've already set your trade idea, like your buy, your sell limit. Once it actually comes, into that zone, your trade activates, and then, it starts going down to profits. Very, very important. Now, why all these things? When you have someone who is who has a methodical way of working and all, you expect that, you expect the best from the person. Why all these things is so that when you see a Smartmonics trade idea and you see all these things, all the thoughts and processes, all the programming, all the codes that went into it. And also that when I take Smartmonics trade ideas, I don't panic. My mind is not like I panic for other ones, but I'm not worried. I actually look out more. I trade more Smartmonics trade ideas, and then I have the other strategies that I trade, so this strategy actually ensures that you trade from the high VWAP zones. These are high VWAP zones. You trade there for a sell, and then, if you're buying, you actually trade, from the lowest point for a buy. I see sometimes I see maybe trade ideas that come in the middle. No matter how everyone would say they'll jump in and then maybe take a trade in the middle, you will not see Smartmonics give you any trade idea from the middle of the zone. I'm saying this because I love looking at these charts. Like I'm staring into my boyfriend's face, like the way I look at the charts and sometimes I see things, I'm admiring the charts, I'm just watching. I'm not taking any trade, I'm just watching. So I've not seen any Smartmonics trade idea, whether it's a buy or a sell, that is not from the zone. If you see, please screenshot and let me know. I'll put it on Manny's session, or even send a mail and ask him on JIFU Connect app that why did this trade come up in the middle and not from the zone. I have not seen. So that's how confidence you get when you get this trade ideas. So I've already explained the time frame. I've already explained like the time frame for you, and then you choose your time frame. For people that came in later on the call, because one of the questions that people ask is, what time frame should I trade? Now, the time frame you trade Smartmonics on depends on the kind of trader that you are. So if you are a swing trader, you can leave your trade for days to run and all. You can look for Smartmonics idea on the 4-hour time frame. Look for it on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if you are an intraday trader, then you can look for trade ideas, trade entries on the 2-hour and the 1-hour time frame. And then for, those of us that are a bit impatient, want to get into the market and come out, you call it scalpers. The only thing close to scalping on Smartmonics is actually the 15 minutes, time frame, and sometimes the 30 minutes time frame. But in our trading session with Manicure, we always look at Smartmonics on the 15 minutes time frame, so that's the closest that we have on scalping. And then another thing, right, is that now for this zone, it says that as long as, the candles actually close under this zone, like these candles now, maybe they go up, this candle goes up and it's still closing under this zone and all, you can still take the trade. But the moment you see candles, up to 5 candles that are closing outside this zone, then you cannot take that. That zone is no longer valid. I think I have something in the chat. Does it work on all pairs? It works on all pairs. It works on all pairs. Yes, it works on all pairs. So we were looking at USD JPY earlier, and then you can see that there's a trade idea here for BTC and all. So it actually works on all pairs. Yes. So I don't know if there's a question. If you have a question before I just do a recap and we can end the class. So this is as simple as it gets. And then below here is also like a second confirmation. We see this chart a lot also on other scanners. They are just this part here is just there to confirm your trade. So when you look at this point here, when you look at this point where the trade idea was given, you can see that on the corresponding chart here, you see that it's sold from the red zone. It's sold from the red zone. So if for instance, you come to this chart and you see all these things, and then you see that the market, like now someone is considering, is this trade still valid? Should I still take this trade? You cannot take this trade now because this line is currently, in the blue zone. If it goes back up to the red zone, it still respects that zone, and then it starts coming down. You can say, okay, let me take it for a sell. So you sell. When you're selling, you want to just check down here and confirm that, this yellow line here is actually at the top red zone. And then for a buy also, you want to confirm that this line here is actually in the blue zone. So it's also one of the confirmations. One of the confirmations. So I think I'll just take one or two questions. I'll take one or two questions and then I'll just do a short recap of the salient points and then we end. So maybe I'll just take let me say 3 questions or so. 3 questions. Do you have questions? You can type your question in the chat box. You can type your question in the chat box so that we can go be done with this class. So what time are my classes? I don't have my coach is here. You know, I just do classes as the spirit leads. I'm also learning. So most times I think coach, the mentor does classes. So if he shares the information with us, you can join the class. There are some other coaches here. I saw Coach Blossom. Coach Blossom also does trainings. Yeah, so you can, when she does, you can also join the trainings once you see the link. Yeah, so as maybe if more opportunities come, we can have this, we can do more trainings. Okay, so any more questions? Any more questions? Let me see. Okay, so just a final recap. Just a final recap. Smartmonics, you know, is a very simple strategy, you know, and it actually trades from demand zones, supply zones. It trades in zones, and then it has all these, you know, features embedded in it that allows you to confirm your trade ideas. You have the VWAP, you have the harmonics pattern, you have the confirmation, rejection candles. You also have that tick, which is not showing now. You have the entry parameters, your invalidation, 1 invalidation or stop loss, 1 entry points, and 3 take profit points. So, and the entire profit gives 1 to 6 risk to reward levels, yeah, for traders. And of course, when you're buying, when you're selling, you want to be sure that the buy side liquidity is actually more than the sell side liquidity, because it guarantees that the market will sell. And then when you're buying, you want to ensure that the sell side liquidity, that's the red bar, is actually more than, you know, the buy side liquidity, that's the green bar. So it's a guarantee that the market will go up. So in this instance where a trade was called for a sell, you know, it was called at a point when the buy side liquidity was more than the sell side. But right now that the sell side liquidity is higher than the buy side liquidity, that trade has started reversing and is going back to entry points. And then what else? We also talked about the, you know, the EMA here. EMA changes color, you know, as the market structure changes. And we talked about the optimized tracking system. You have this OTT here, where once the candles, you know, represent, they are all in, you know, candles within a structure, you know, are all in red. Like this one here shows that the market, this market structure is actually bearish. And then the candles in green actually shows that this market structure is, you know, on the bullish side. So it's as simple as that. And then you also have the sessions, the Asian session green, the London session red, the New York session blue. So it gives you an idea of what had happened in the session, because when you look, you see, you can check whether in the next session the trend will continue. You can see what trend happened in the Asian session. You can check if it continued in the London session, and if it reversed in the New York session, all at a glance, all at a glance. So I think that's about all. Very simple, very exciting. I think yesterday I kept sharing trade ideas that I was watching. Some of them I entered them, trade ideas on Smartmonics, and we're just hitting TP, that yesterday. So thank you very much, everyone. I can see a bit more questions. Okay, I think let me stop recording now. Let me stop.